We've talked before about how there's two lanes in your brain, stress lane and flow lane. You are the driver, driving your car down this two-lane road. Flow lane is an absolute delight to be in. It's smooth and fast, and it feels like freedom. Stress lane is a nightmare to drive in. It's bumpy and slow, and it feels like death. And flow lane is your brain's natural lane. That's who you really are. That's where your brain wants to be. This is the real you, the true essence of who you're meant to be in this world. But sometimes the tiniest little pebbles can knock your brain out of flow lane and into a tailspin in stress lane. And here's one of those tiny little thoughts. It's not possible. So let's say you're working on a project plan for your team, and this thought pops into your head. I'm not going to be able to figure this out. Suddenly, you're grabbing your phone, scrolling Instagram, or responding to emails that are totally not urgent instead of doing the thing you sat down to do. Or maybe you're swiping and messaging people on the dating apps, and this thought pops into your head. I'm never going to find my person. And suddenly, your messages get very snippy and impatient, and you swipe left on everyone you see. Or you look at your to-do list in the morning, and your first thought is, I can't get all this done today. And then you start asking yourself, should I even be in this job? What's my purpose in life? Once this little pebble of a thought has knocked you into stress lane, your brain will suggest all kinds of shenanigans. It'll suggest, let's just do something else, something that is possible. That's why you find yourself scrolling Instagram and playing Wordle and answering unimportant emails. Or your brain might suggest, let's pull back on our efforts and try less. That's why you find yourself getting snippy with people on the dating apps and just swiping left on everyone. Or your brain will suggest, let's step back and think about big picture questions. Maybe that will help us get our mojo back. And that's why you start rabbit holing into questions like, what's my purpose in life? And should I find a new job? But let me give you a different suggestion instead. Instead of switching to something else, instead of pulling back on your efforts, and instead of opening an existential can of worms, recognize that the only thing that has happened is that your brain has had the thought, it's not possible. That's it. That is the teeny tiny switch that has flipped you from flow to stress. And you can use that exact same switch to go back from stress to flow. Here's how. First off, stick with the task in front of you. Stick with the project plan, stick with the dating app, stick with the to-do list, etc. Don't jump to something else. Stay right here. Then create a very small and 1000% stupidly doable next step. If write the project plan feels impossible, just open all the documents related to the project. If find my person feels impossible, just swipe on 5 people and close the app for the day. If finish all the stuff on my list feels impossible, just look at the first thing, open the email that's related to it, and read what the other person said. When you make your next step very small and stupidly doable, you don't have to tell your brain this is possible because you are showing your brain this is possible. And your brain loves to do easy, simple stuff that's 100% doable. Your brain finds that incredibly satisfying. And so when you create those small, stupidly doable next steps for your brain, you are creating an on-ramp back into flow. And if your brain tells you it's not possible one more time, just repeat. Your brain is going to wobble and weave back into stress lane. That is 100% normal. It's not a problem at all. And all you have to do is stick with the task and make the next step even smaller if you have to, and give your brain that on-ramp back into flow. Coaching follows the exact same 4-step process every single time. Step 1, we find the thought that stressed you out and knocked you out of flow. In this video, I took an educated guess that the thought, it's not possible, is probably stressing you out and you might not even realize it. If we work together, I won't have to guess. We can talk and pinpoint the exact thought that's creating stress for you. We can get the diagnosis right, which is the crucial first step for any kind of problem solving. Then, step 2 of coaching, we offer your brain a thought suggestion. In this video, I offered you the thought suggestion of make your next step very small and stupidly doable, with the aim that that small next step would show your brain that this is possible. And then your brain would switch back to believing this is possible on its own. If we work together, I won't just have to give you one thought suggestion. I can teach you the 10 specific techniques that I use to offer your brain a new thought suggestion. So you don't have to start from scratch every single time. I give you a simple, concrete menu of options that you can keep drawing from. Then, step 3 of coaching. We ask your brain, how does that resonate? And we have a conversation with it. In this video, you have to do that on your own. I'm not there to actually talk to you. But if we work together, we can have that back and forth live together. And it's okay if your brain pushes back on the first thought suggestion that you give it. Pushback is productive. When your brain pushes back, we learn more about the logic that's holding up your brain's current perspective, which is great. So we listen to what your brain has to say, and then we offer another thought suggestion based on what we just learned. And we keep going back and forth with your brain until we find a new thought that resonates. And then step 4 of coaching, once that new thought resonates, we operationalize it in your day-to-day life. In this video, you have to do that on your own too. I'm not there to help you make a plan for how you will apply this new thought in your day-to-day life when your brain inevitably tells you it's not possible one more time. And I'm also not there to assess what happened afterward, to figure out, did it work? Did it not work? What adjustments do you need to make? But if we work together, we can plan, implement, and troubleshoot. Once we've found the new thought that resonates for you, we've got to take it out of the lab, aka the coaching session, and we have to put it into the real world. So we make a plan for how to do that. When is this old thought likely to pop up again? And how can you remember to apply the new perspective that we just found? Then you go off for a week, you implement on your own, and then crucially, we talk again the following week and we assess how it went. It is totally normal for the real world implementation to not work perfectly the first time. That's why we do a series of coaching sessions and not just one session. So that in the next session, we'll talk about how it went, we'll understand why things didn't go as planned. If they didn't, we'll figure out what are the adjustments you need to make, and then we'll make another plan for you to go try again the following week. So my posts, my videos, my free content, they can only give you a pretty good step 1 and step 2. I'm taking educated guesses at the thoughts that are probably stressing you out, and I'm giving you one thought suggestion that I think might help. My one-on-one coaching program gives you all 4 of those steps again and again. It gives you diagnosis, solution, testing, and implementation until you've solved the problems that you came to solve and you've learned this toolkit well enough to do it on your own. So come talk to me about joining my one-on-one coaching program today. The link to book a free consult call is above.